Welcome back, guys. This is part 2 to the video. Let's hurry up and finish this. Where was I? The Pinewood snake is a species of the southeastern and Gulf coastal plains. It is small, secretive, and oviparous, while typically a species of the pine flatwoods where it hides beneath or in decomposing fallen tree trunks, mats of vegetation, and roadside debris. It also turns up rather regularly in damp backyards and old fields, especially beneath urban litter. In old texts, this species was referred to as the yellow-lipped snake. The smooth scales are arranged in 17 rows. The anal plate is divided. The dorsum is earthen brown to russet, darkest vertebrally, and the belly is a pale yellowish white. So, what is said about anal plate is divided. The anal plate is the cloaca. And divided means it's pretty much got two little flaps, I think. I am not a scientist in snake reproductive tracts or anything like that, so I'm just telling you guys what I believe is correct. So, anal plate divided, two flaps. Cloaca, it's like a normal cloaca, but it's kind of divided into two little flaps. And I asked an environmental scientist about that. I took her a shed from the snake species, and she said, look at that. The anal plate is divided. The cloaca is divided. That means it is not a venomous species. It just has mildly toxic saliva. Now, this book that I am reading from right now, it goes back from saying it has mildly toxic venom to mildly toxic saliva. Just know that if I say mildly toxic venom, I actually mean saliva. They are not venomous, they just have mildly toxic saliva, which is harmless to humans. So don't worry about getting bit by these guys. They don't bite you anyways. These guys are harmless to people. Look at him. He's calmed down completely. He knows that I am not going to hurt him. He's just chilling out on my finger while I read you guys this book. The mildly toxic saliva helps in overcoming the small lizards and frogs on which this snake species feeds upon. It is considered harmless to man. The pinewood snake is found beneath debris in woodlands or more infrequently at the wooded edges of pastures and yards. This next part is about husbandry of the snake. I do not suggest you keep this snake. Please, please do not keep Pinewood Littersnakes. We do not have enough evidence to support a snake being healthily kept in captivity, which means it will most likely die under your care. Please, if you catch one of these guys, release it back where you found it. So, I want to keep one of these guys for myself because I think they are adorable. I think they would be an awesome species to keep, but we do not have enough evidence to be able to keep these guys properly. Hopefully you guys understand that. In case there is somebody that decides to keep it anyways, I'm going to read this next part, which is Dyspidine husbandry, which is how to house the snake. I disagree with a couple things in here, so I will correct those to things that I do believe is better for the snake's health and well-being. So, Dyspidine husbandry. This secretive snake can be kept in small terraria with several inches of smooth-grained sand for burrowing. Sand. I do not suggest sand. We have tropical mixes like cocoa fiber mixed with a topsoil or something like that. You can buy it off the internet or look up a tutorial on YouTube. on how to make your own, and you just dampen that. Please don't use sand. I don't think it's good for the snake if you use sand. I don't think it would really hurt it, but it might, when the snake is eating or hunting and then catches the prey, it might get that sand stuck in its mouth. That causes it to get stuck in the intestines, the guts and things. It's not good. So just use a tropical mix. And I mean, that could happen with any mix, but with sand, it's more likely to happen. Let's see. A top, which is a layer of dried leaves. Basically leaf litter stuff. Stuff like this. This is leaf litter. Leaf litter. The bottom layer of sand, please don't use sand, use tropical mix. Use a tropical mix of soil. Should be barely moist. These snakes will drink from shallow water dishes. The Pinewood snake is often a difficult captive, but may eat tiny frogs or lizards. Alright? And next page. Pinewood snake. Yes. Okay. Very mildly venomous. In this volume, we have described many snakes as secretive. Although the term fits many snakes rather well, it is more suitable for some than others. The little Pinewood snake is truly secretive. In fact, the neotropical species of this genus are referred to as leaf litter snakes because the niche for which they have evolved is under and amidst the leaf litter of the rainforests. We don't have any rainforests, so it's just forests, really. This snake produces a toxin that is effectively quiets its prey. It is entirely harmless to humans and can seldom be induced to bite. From everything I've read, these snakes will not bite you. They will not bite you no matter what. Like a ball python, if it bites you, you have done something seriously wrong. But it is not deadly to you. This video. I am very passionate about these snakes, which is why I'm doing all of this, so that hopefully you guys can learn more about these snakes. Because I don't think many people know about these snakes, and they're truly amazing snakes. They're awesome snakes, and I wish more people knew about them, and then maybe we could learn more about them. We'd be able to observe more about these snakes. And then, maybe if somebody wanted to keep them, then we would have enough information on these snakes for you to keep them properly in captivity. Alright. Let's see. Seldom to bite.
Did you finish?
Alright, back to the video. Size. This tiny snake is often only the length and diameter of a pencil. False information. They get about 10 to 13 inches. I mean, I guess a pencil is about that size. Maybe. They do get about the same girth, maybe a little bit bigger. Let's see. The record size for one of these snakes is 15.9 inches, almost 6 inches. Hatchlings are about 5 inches long. Identification: the dorsal color is yellowish brown to reddish brown, darkest vertebrally. The chin is white. The venter is off-white, pale yellow or pale green, and unmarked. There is a dark eye stripe, and the upper labials are light in color, but are seldom even vaguely yellowish, and bear a variable amount of dark flecking. The smooth scales are in 17 rows, and the anal plate is divided. Behavior. We have never found this snake surface active, which means it's active on the surface of the dirt and stuff like that. Pretty much always under leaf litter and things like that. Let's see. All seen have been beneath debris both by day and night. In most cases, the snakes were not particularly nervous when their lair was invaded, allowing themselves to be lifted and handled without showing defensive belligerence. However, one example from near Tampa flattened its head and struck repeatedly, apparently with closed mouth, for I never was bitten, and my hand neared it. Habitat and range. In Florida, this species has a primarily and a disjunct secondary range. It is from the latitude of Lake Okeechobee on the southern peninsula and northward throughout the rest of the peninsula. A tiny, apparently disjunct population occurs in Walton and Okaloosa counties. Unlike many of Florida's small snakes that prefer drier habitats, the pinewood snake is more at home in woodlands that are well on the damp side. In shaded, damp, and humid woodlands, look for the snake beneath any manner of surface debris, both natural and human-generated. Next page. This is the last page. Abundance. Is this snake merely secretive and overlooked, or is it not often seen because it is truly uncommon? Personally, I think it's just uncommon, really. I think it's uncommon. Because of human interference, we might have decreased the population substantially, which means by a lot. Anyways, back to the book. Despite traipsing through the woodlands of Florida for more than 4 decades, we still are not able to accurately answer that question. We have found one pinewood snake here, another there, and a third elsewhere. The findings were scattered over a period of years. Then we would return to a site at another time and find 3 or 4 of the litter snakes in short order. Our yard in Gainesville, Florida is a perfect example, as we are wont to do whatever we live. We seeded the yard with pieces of tin or boards. For the first several years, we could expect to find southern ringneck snakes or a Florida red-bellied snake when we checked beneath the cover. Then, in the summer of our 5th year, we began finding pinewood snakes beneath the cover, and by the end of the season, we had found 6. We had never had an inkling that the snakes occurred there. In year 6, we had great expectations of finding more pinewood snakes. We were wrong. Again, ringneck snakes and red-bellied snakes were found, but we never saw the first pinewood snake. Nor have we seen one since. Secretive or rare in our area, at least. We would definitely opt for the former. Prey. Small amphibians and lizards are eaten. Reproduction, a clutch of 3 eggs, 2 to 3, says the other book, found beneath a board in June, hatched after being observed for 51 days. How long the eggs had been there before being found is unknown. Similar snakes, earth snakes, brown snakes, and red-bellied snakes have keeled scales. Crowned snakes have gray to black heads. And that was all that I have found in books on this snake. And how old these books are, maybe a year or two older, younger, I'm not sure. But granted, this is useful information, guys. That, oop, here. Granted, it is useful information. Alright, just gonna lay on the ground. But granted how old these books are, this is useful information for these beautiful snakes here. Now, this baby, most likely is a hatchling. And is doing the little tongue flicky thing, smelling me. And let me, nope. There you go. That is about the size of my hand, right there. These guys are adorable. And I wish that we would bring attention to these snakes and would actually look for these snakes so that we can gather more information about these snakes. But we don't, which, in my opinion, is a huge shame. I believe that these snakes are either rare to find, which is to be expected because they live in under dirt, logs, and things, or that because of human interference in their habitats, their population has been declining. I do believe it is worth researching. It is worth observing so that we can learn more about this snake species. These little guys are very interesting, very fascinating snakes, and I believe that we need to learn more about them in order to conserve this species. Now, whether this species plays a big or a small role in their ecosystem, whether it's a certain niche they've evolved to adapt to, I am unsure of right now. Hopefully, I'll be able to do another video with these guys at a later point in time, and I'll know more about them. I have been looking for these guys ever since I saw the first one. So, this is the 4th snake that I have found, and it's a baby, which means they're reproducing. They've at least got a foothold here in Florida, or at least some parts of Florida, at least. I do intend to be putting some boards and things out and whatever to see if I can see more of these adorable little snakes. And when I do, I'll update you guys on these pretty, insanely cute snakes. So, without further ado, I'm sorry if this video has run long. Sorry if the last one has run long too, but these guys deserve spotlight. Without further ado, I'm gonna end this video and I'm gonna let this guy go. Alright, I'll see you guys later. Hopefully you enjoyed these 2 videos, and I'll see you in the next video here at John Zoo. See you later, guys.